In this video, I want to challenge you to start thinking about what needs to change in your habits, in your patterns, in your rhythms as you're closing out one year so that 2026 does not become a repeat of 2025. Because whether you've noticed it or not, whether you set New Year's resolutions or not, there's something innate on the inside of us that wants this upcoming year to be better than the next year. When you have a birthday, you're hoping that this year is better than the last year. When you start a new job, you're hoping that this job and you're thinking about things that you want to do better in this job than you did in your last job. Or if it's a relationship, you're wanting this relationship to be better than your last relationship. So there's something on the inside of us that wants things to progress, that wants things to be better. But if we're honest, most of the time, and if we're not careful, nothing really changes. Why? Because the same habits are going to lead to the same frustrations. And if your habits don't change and you're experiencing the same frustrations, you're going to see, and I'm going to see the same results in our life. And so here is the truth. Desire alone doesn't create change. You can't hope and wish things get better enough for things to change without action. Desire alone doesn't create change, and it will not create growth. So again, you can hope for a better year, but without the right action and discipline, you will experience a repeat and a disappointment of 26 if nothing changes in your life. It's just like this. The Bible says in Proverbs, hope deferred makes the heart sick. What does that mean? It's like when you're hoping for better and when you're desiring for change, but it never comes, that hope becomes deferred. And then we get sick in our heart and sick in our soul. And so hope and desire all by themselves are not enough. And so I want to challenge you again in this video to start thinking about what patterns and rhythms do you have in your life, or can you set up in your life so that 2026 becomes a great and a better year for you, and instead of a repeat of 2025. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Again, my name is Lucas Gonzalez. I'm a pastor. I've been in ministry for over 17 years. And at the time of you recording this, I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving. You can see I am here in my house. I've got my Christmas tree up. I've got my stockings hung over my fireplace. I've got Bobby the Elf hiding up there for the kids when they get home. This is really a great time of the year, but if we're not careful, there's nothing magical that will happen at the turn of a calendar that will just make the next year better. And so again, I want to challenge you in this video to start thinking about what challenges and what changes can you make now so that you are stepping into a better year. Here is the problem. The problem is we are repeating the same year. Think of it like this. If you are on a job and there is a new person in the job, and there's somebody that has been at that job for 10 years, but they've kind of plateaued in their career. Well, the truth is they don't really have 10 years of experience. They have 1 year of experience repeated 10 times because they never got better, they never got stronger, they never improved. And so they're kind of flatlined in their career. So what's the difference between a new hire and this person is really the intention that we set. And so again, the problem is we repeat the same year on a cycle because we are hoping and desiring for things to get better, but we don't have a plan for it. Okay. Another problem is we begin to settle. We make these goals and we make these hopes of getting better. And then that desire to get better demands that something changes. And when the change is uncomfortable in your life, we begin to self sabotage ourselves and say, you know what, it's actually not that bad. I actually, the relationship isn't that bad. I could stay in it. The job isn't that bad. I can stay in it. You know what? I thought I wanted to lose this weight. But you know what? I look fine. I look good. I'm comfortable where I'm at. And really being comfortable kills dreams. Being comfortable. That's why we always tell people, especially in ministry, you've got to step outside of your comfort zone if you want to see growth. If you want, when God wants to meet with you, okay? I tell students, I tell adults, I tell kids, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. And so we get comfortable in our current circumstance and in our situation, and we tell ourselves it's not that bad. And the change is actually too hard. I'm not willing to do the work to change. And so we tell ourselves it's not that bad. I will just stay in it. It's like if you're going on a diet and you're doing good for 3 days. And then on that fourth day, all those cravings come back. And then you start telling yourself, the internal war and the internal dialogue in our minds will be so loud. We got to tell ourselves, okay, do I really want to change? Or is it really not that bad? It isn't going to be that bad if I just have. And then bam, we just end up binging and falling right back into the same habits and same patterns. We get comfortable. Listen, we get passive. Okay, I think that I just want to challenge this mindset. If you can even just do a mental inventory check in your life, if you are passive in different areas of your life that you want to see growth, I want to challenge you. Don't be passive in your faith or in your family or in your health or in your relationships, in any of those things. Don't be passive, but be passionate, and don't let yourself become spiritually stagnant. Okay, here's what we do. We do silly things like we expect life to get better without bettering ourselves. So again, if nothing changes, okay, then nothing changes. Man, write that down. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. All right. So God won't do for you what he has asked you or given you the power to do. All right? There's a proverb that says people ruin their lives by their own mistakes and then they blame God on that. You're not under spiritual warfare. You're not under spiritual attack. You cannot say no to the cookie. Right? You won't wake up early and spend time in prayer. You won't cut out bad relationships in your life, but we continue to wish that the relationships or the scale would change, or that we would be more consistent spiritually, or that God would just open up the heavens and supernaturally do something for us meanwhile we've been bad stewards of what he has called us to have. Okay, so let me say it again. Number one, the problem is we repeat the same year or the same patterns over and over again, and we tell ourselves it's not that bad. We get passive, we get comfortable, and then nothing changes. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Touch your neighbor and tell them, nothing changes, nothing changes. Number two, here we go. The truth about growth is there will always be areas of your life that need to grow. There's always areas of your life that need to get better or that you're going to want to see progress in. And here's where I want to just tell you that is good. That is okay. You're not going to raise every area of your life all at once. There are going to be areas of your life that you are going to want to improve on, but you're not going to be able to improve on all of them at the same time. Okay. It's like your focus is too spread out and then you're not winning anywhere. You've got to focus down on one area, and you've got to commit to seeing growth in that area. It's like this. I like to work out and I also like to run. And so when I have in the past been training for half marathons, is the longest that I've ran. Um, When I train for a half marathon, my focus is on my eating and on my running. And I still lift in the gym and I still do those things that I enjoy, but my strength in the gym suffers a little bit because I want to get better in running. And then I will take some time after that and I want to work on my flexibility or my mobility. Okay. I'm getting old. All right. I got to fight it. Okay. I can't get all tight. I want to touch my toes and play with my kids and be flexible. I'm not flexible. Pray for your boy. Um, but, but whenever I focus on one of those things, another area suffers. And it's okay. It's okay. What I don't want to do is I don't want to abandon my health altogether, right? I don't want to abandon my health altogether. So if I'm committing to a Bible reading plan and I spend more time in my time with the Lord just reading the word of God than I do in worship and prayer, it's okay. There will be areas of your life that always need to grow. And that's why I want to just challenge you to just make a commitment to grow for the rest of your life. Like, just make a commitment to be a lifelong disciple that wants to get better in every area of your life. Okay. Growth is a partnership. Okay. Growth is a partnership. What does that mean? I mean, um, it is not just supernatural. It's not just supernatural. It is natural. It is we doing what we can do, and then God meeting us there and pushing us through the line, and Him doing what we can't do. Right? It is His super on our natural, and together it's supernatural. It's like you're staying committed, you are showing up, you're committed to being a disciple, you're committed to growth, you're doing what God has asked you to do, and then He puts His blessing on top of that. I have a friend, his name is John, and he always talks about you want to live your life inside of the blessability zone, right? You don't want your finances to be all out of whack and then just be praying for a financial miracle because you are a bad steward. You want to steward your finances well, and then God can breathe on them. And that's when you begin to see the blessing of God in your life. Okay. So it's not just all natural and it's not just supernatural. It's we do what we can do. God does what we can't do. And together they are supernatural. Okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. And I think sometimes we think that progress is a line graph that shoots up into the right and has no dips. But the truth is, growth more looks like it's up to the right, then it's down, up. And then over a period of time, it's like from when I started, yes, there were dips, but am I further ahead? Have I made progress in my life? And I think that that has got to be the goal. And then here's the challenge: don't wait for January 1st to start. You've seen those jokes. January 1st comes, and then people are like, hey, shout out to everybody that has said, I'll start on Monday. If we're always pushing when we're going to start to get better and make goals and discipline ourselves, then I would tell you, then we are always going to be waiting for the conditions to be right to start seeing growth in our life. I would tell you to start today or start thinking about today what areas of your life you can grow in or what patterns you can change. Just take inventory because growth can start today. All right. That was Proverbs 19:3. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then they blame the Lord. Here's the takeaway: you cannot ask God to bless what you're unwilling to take responsibility for. You cannot ask God to bless what you are unwilling to take responsibility for. All right, number 3, here we go, talking about how do we build a mindset or a framework to make sure 2026 is not a repeat of 2025. Number 1, do some honest homework. You have got to get real. I've got a friend, his name is Doug. He's a pastor. I mean, we've been friends since we were teenagers. We went to Bible college together, and he always says, you got to own your ugly. And that's the truth. Okay. So you have to do an honest reflection of where you're at and ask yourself the hard questions. Why am I not where I want to be? You've got to ask yourself, what is working and what is not working? Where are you seeing progress and where are you coasting? Are you coasting spiritually? Are you coasting in your health? Are you coasting in your job? Are you coasting in relationships? Okay, so you've got to do some honest reflection. You've got to own your ugly. Number two, I would tell you to take responsibility. Take, at some point, it cannot be somebody else's fault that you and me are where we are. At some point, we've got to take the responsibility and say, I am where I am because I didn't do what I had to do. You got to stop blaming others or a pastor that hurt you or a church that disappointed you or a boss or culture or circumstances or your parents or another relationship or whatever. You've got to take responsibility and then understand that growth begins when you own the results. Okay. Number three, build some habits, build some small habits now. Don't just wait for motivation, because if you're waiting for motivation, whenever you need it, it's not there. You go to the conference, you do 21 days of prayer with your church, you hear a good sermon, whatever it may be, and the motivation is there. You're like, I'm going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it's not there. This morning I woke up 4:30 a.m. I went on a prayer run, and I can tell you it was cold outside. It was like 36 degrees. I had to wear sweatpants and a hoodie. I had to wear layers. And, there was no motivation to go on a prayer run this morning, except that I knew I would be proud of myself on the other side of that run. So start building some habits and some routines now, okay? Because if it's a priority in your life, it should be calendared in your life, because your routines reveal what's a priority. So you can say, yeah, this is a priority: working out, praying, spending time with God, church. But if it doesn't show up on your calendar, the routine of your life proves that that's not really a priority. And then growth comes from consistency, not intensity. What does that mean? I mean, doing the right thing over and over, even when it is boring. So on Sunday morning before church, I went to the gym. It's quiet. There's no one there. I listen to worship. I listen to a podcast. My thoughts are before the Lord. And I had this thought in the workout, like, this is so boring. But at the same time, it's like the boring things are the things is where the growth comes. And so growth comes from consistency, not intensity. It's doing the right thing over and over and over and over and over. So right now, let me give you an example. My kids, my middle son, what I'm telling him to do is turn off the lights behind you, close your dresser drawers when you change your clothes, and pick up your laundry and put it in. I mean, right now, it's like the biggest thing that he struggles with are those three things. And so I told him one time, boom, fixed. No, I told him one time and then another time. You just constantly coaching him to do the right thing. Hey, buddy, before you come out of that room. Now it's like, that's what I'm saying. And he knows, oh, my light's on, my drawers are open, right? It's not a one time, oh, let me turn off all my lights and close all my drawers and do all my laundry. No, it's like the routine is helping him build a habit in his life so that he can see growth in that area. And so he gets frustrated and we get frustrated. It's like, man, I've been doing this for 5 days. How come it's not natural to me? We've got to just stay committed to growth, committed to consistency, and not intensity. Okay. And then here's the big thing. I believe it's got to start spiritually. I think the foundation has to be spiritual. So the work should come from the inside out. I think it needs to be spiritual. You can't expect external change without internal transformation. That's why Paul writes in Romans chapter 12, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the transformation happens when I'm thinking right and I'm living according to the finished work of the cross and what God has done in my heart. And I've got to align my habits and my behaviors. The transformation of my life happens when I renew my mind. And again, I want to renew my mind according to what God has done on the inside of me. Okay, so transformation has to happen, and I believe needs to start internally, and the foundation should be the foundation should be spiritual. Okay, so the internal determines the external. The tree determines the condition of the fruit. Okay, Jesus said, "Make the tree good, and the fruit will be good. Make the tree bad, and the fruit will be bad." Okay, so again, what was that? Number three, the framework to make sure that this year is good is to just take honest reflection of your life, take responsibility, start building habits and routines, and build them from the inside out. Last thing, here's my challenge and my encouragement to you. Don't wait for a new year to become a new man. Don't wait for the new year to become a new person. If you are always pushing off, I will get better when this calendar, there's nothing supernatural about the calendar change. And I know that you knew that. That's why I started off the video saying, whether you make resolutions or not, something innate on the inside of us wants to progress, wants to be better. Okay. And so don't wait to start working on yourself. Start today. Start working on the areas God has been highlighting to you. And so, what do I mean by that? Um, like, what are the things that your mind keeps going back to? Man, I want to be better in this area. Start there. Start there. Start there. Start spiritually. Okay? Again, this new year, 2026, it will not be different unless you change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, then nothing changes, right? So everyone wants next year to be better, but we won't happen by accident. So start building the habits now, okay? So that your future self will be proud of the disciplines that you have started to put in this year. All right? I hope that you have a great holiday season. If you are a Christian man and you want to get better in different areas of your life and you want to be surrounded by community, I just want to invite you and tell you about my free school community, Strong Christian Men. I'll put a link in the description of this video. You can check it out. Come on in. It's free. I do spiritual disciplines, and I'm doing a spiritual prayer course boot camp in January. I'm really excited about it. Check it out. Come on in. I would love to have you inside of the Strong Christian Man community. Again, listen, it's based off 1 Corinthians 16:13, where it says, "Men, stand firm in the faith, be strong, and act like men." So if you want to be surrounded by some people as you're heading into the new year that will challenge you and encourage you to grow, I will see you on the inside. Until then, I hope you stay blessed. I hope you have a great holiday season surrounded by people that you love, friends, and family. I am going to be talking about, I know I said this, I'm rambling a little bit now, but I said this. I believe that spirit growth starts spiritually. And my next two videos, I am wanting to do just a focus video, one on prayer and one on Bible reading. All right. So with that being said, I hope that you start thinking about now, today, what you can do to make sure that this upcoming year is the best year of your life. I love ya. Stay blessed. I'll see you on the next video.